So this game has been getting a lot of popularity. It's called 99 Nights in the Forest. It's a pretty fun game, but did you know there's a lot of dark truths hidden within it? Like literally when you join into the game, it says this game is based on a true story. Some details have been changed. Yeah, and then on here there's 4 different images. The first one says that reports were made of a deer standing on 2 legs in an unnatural way in the forest. The following week, 4 children went missing. It was clear something was very wrong with the forest. After the police search revealed no clues about the missing children, the forest was promptly locked to the public. You have 99 days to unravel the mysteries of the forest and figure out what is going on. And yeah, there's the park right here. It's completely locked. There's even a warning sign, again talking about the disappearance. And if you don't know, in this game, you must survive for, well, 99 nights in the forest, all while fighting against angry cultists, scavenging for food, and then finally hiding from the creepy deer monster. Well, at the
Comment down below the farthest you guys have gone in this game.
same time trying to uncover the truth of the forest and find the children. And the game is fun and all, but I was mostly fascinated by the fact that this game was based on a true story. So I started to do some research, and man, was what I found insane. Because yes, there were actually people that went missing in a forest. It's a crazy story, but before we talk about that, we have to talk about the creepy deer in the game. So yeah, this deer creature is the main villain in this Roblox game, but it's actually based on the myth of the Wendigo. Now, if you don't know what a Wendigo is, it's pretty much a half deer, half humanoid creature. A lot of people also believe that this creature can possess other human beings, and many people believe to actually have seen sightings of this creature. Everyone
looks
who
like a
said
monkey.
they've seen it define it as a
That
large
looks like
beast
AI.
standing on its hind legs. Yeah, a lot of people to this day still believe that the Wendigo exists, but even back then, there were certain indigenous groups in North America. To a lot of them, the Wendigo wasn't just a monster, it was a spiritual idea of a person that would be consumed towards greed, cannibalism, and a loss of humanity. This creature symbolizes what happens when a person becomes consumed by hunger or selfishness. Which, yeah, we're also going to talk about the cultists in this game because they too have their dark secrets. Yeah, in some traditions, people believe that Wendigos were actually created from humans that resorted to cannibalism to survive. Which, yeah, leads us to the other villains in this game, the cultists. So the cultists are the only hostile human NPCs in the game. They typically attack the player every 3 nights, and what you'll also notice about them is that all of them are actually wearing deer antlers, which, yeah, pretty much links to them worshipping the deer creature in this game. But there's more than just that. See, they're not just worshipping the Wendigo in this game. No, they're going through what's called a Wendigo psychosis, which is when a person begins to crave flesh. Yeah, there's actually a real known disorder. Some people think it's literally because they're turning into a Wendigo, and if anyone actually experienced a Wendigo psychosis, they would try to heal them, but if incurable and they were threatening those around them, then they had to be executed. Yeah, so all these cultist enemies are actually those who have gone through Wendigo psychosis. Yes, they worship this Wendigo creature, but also they are attacking you, the player, because they are hungry and starving for flesh. Yeah, a lot of the cultist stuff may have actually been inspired by another game called The Forest, where, yeah, in this game, you must survive against nature, but not only that, the cannibals that lurk around there. And I know in this game, a lot of people compare this island that the game takes place in to the actual real-life North Sentinel Island. Now, what's crazy about this island is that within it is an indigenous tribe that is believed to have lived there for over 60,000 years with little to no outside contact with the world. Like, to this day, they're still using spears and bow and arrows to shoot nearby helicopters and boats. And as for how many people live on this island, it's estimated to be around 50 to 150 people. But again, it's not certain, because anytime anyone's tried to go near them, they always end up attacking. But now back to the Roblox game with the 4 missing people. Is this actually based on a real story? Well, yes. So the story goes, on June 9th of 2023, there is a plane carrying 7 people, including a woman and her 4 children. Unfortunately though, shortly after its departure, the plane would crash, and the only ones that survived were the 4 children, all left alone in the Amazon rainforest. Yet the ages of all 4 children were 13, 9, 4, and an 11-month-old toddler. They all had to survive in the jungle for nearly 40 40 days. Yeah, it says here in the article that the children would move locations every few days, hiding in tree trunks to get out of the rain. Once there was a poisonous snake that the children had to fight off. Meanwhile, shortly after the plane crash was discovered, that's when the military started Operation Hope, with the objective to find the children that were lost in this giant Amazon forest. And thankfully, after 40 days, all 4 children were rescued. Yeah, what I found interesting is that while they were in the hospital, one of the children drew a picture of a dog sitting under a tree next to a river. This is actually based on a dog that the children all found, and it actually stayed with them for several days before vanishing into the jungle again. This article says that the children felt like it was protecting them from the dangers of the Amazon rainforest. And actually, when the military saw this picture, to them, it looked like Wilson, a missing search and rescue dog. So this dog, in the last few days of their survival in the forest, was actually protecting them. I mean, there are some theories that the children could have imagined the dog, saying that malnourishment and fatigue can play tricks on the mind, but I'd like to think that the dog was real and was there to protect them. But yeah, thankfully, all the children were safe, which is similarly the goal that you're supposed to do in 99 Nights in the Forest, where yeah, one by one you find each children and rescue them, all while trying to survive from the dark terrors of the forest. So yeah, this game does have a lot of elements of real life. There's the 4 missing people in the forest, the whole operation of trying to rescue them, but then there's a supernatural deer creature, as well as all the cultists, which didn't actually exist in the real life story, but they're still somewhat based on real life situations, cultures, or traditions. So we know what 99 Days in the Forest is based on, but what is the actual lore of this game? Well, the story starts with hearing about the 4 kids who went missing, probably because of the deer creature, but your mission is to go and recover the 4 kids. And upon setting up camp, you notice a strange deer. This deer is just standing on its hind legs, watching and waiting for you. But this deer is not alone, because it actually has followers known as cultists. Now, throughout the nights, you had to survive the deer and the cultists while also trying to find the kids. One by one, you'll be able to rescue them from an underground facility. The first kid is guarded by wolves, the second is guarded by alpha wolves, the third kid is guarded by bears, and the 4th one is guarded by alpha bears. Now, upon rescuing the children, you pretty much won the game, but that doesn't actually tell us anything about where these cultists and where this Wendigo creature came from. Is it actually a Wendigo? Well, no. See, there's a place where the cultists can actually spawn in, and you'll notice it looks like a research lab, but it's just completely broken. Upon further investigation, you'll notice a table with straps on it. This implies that there were some scientists doing some experimentations here, possibly experimenting on the deer itself. This would then make the deer grow tall and stand on its hind legs, mutating as to what we now think is this Wendigo monster.
Okay,
because
that's
of this
AI.
mutation, it
No
managed
way.
to break out of the lab and wreak havoc, killing many of the scientists. But some of these scientists actually started to worship the deer, making cult sites for it, and the deer actually lets them live. But what does the deer actually want? Why does it keep trying to attack the player? Well, I think it actually just wants you gone. Because of the scientists and the cruelties that they did, the deer no longer trusts humans, only its members who devoted their lives to it. It's why there's
that's
no
so
final boss
sad.
with the deer. In reality, it just wants you gone from this place. Now, as to what it actually wanted from the children, well, similarly to what the scientists were doing with the deer, I feel like the deer began to do its own experiments, having children being raised in the wild by animals. Which, yeah, in real life, there actually has been real stories about this. This, in the way, is the deer's revenge against humanity, doing what the scientists did to the deer at one point. But it's just a theory. Let me know in the comments down
Oh my gosh, guys, what was that? That is so creepy and scary, and I got chills throughout this entire video. But comment down below what you guys think.